यशोदा जनरंजना यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजना यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजना यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय राधा कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण एवरीबॉडी लाउडली कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे लाउडली रे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय कृष्ण बलराम 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 जय ललिता विशाखा जय राधे श्याम 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद भाई चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवत्सदि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Reading from chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita, which is entitled Contents of the Gita Summarized, verse number 40. नेहाभिक्रमनाशोऽस्ति प्रत्यवायो न विद्यते स्वल्पमप्यस्य धर्मस्य त्रायते महतो भयात् नेहाभिक्रमनाशोऽस्ति प्रत्यवायो न विद्यते स्वल्पमप्यस्य धर्मस्य त्रायते महतो भयात् नेहाभिक्रमनाशोऽस्ति प्रत्यवायो न विद्यते स्वल्पमप्यस्य धर्मस्य त्रायते महतो भयात् प्रत्यवायो न विद्यते स्वल्पमप्यस्य धर्मस्य त्रायते महतो भयात् विक्रमनाशोऽस्ति प्रत्यवायो न विद्यते त्रायते महतो भयात् नेहाभिक्रमनाशोऽस्ति प्रत्यवायो न विद्यते स्वल्पमप्यस्य धर्मस्य त्रायते महतो भयात् नेहाभिक्रमनाशोऽस्ति प्रत्यवायो न विद्यते स्वल्पमप्यस्य धर्मस्य त्रायते महतो भयात्। माता जी नेहाभिक्रमनाशोऽस्ति प्रत्यवायो न विद्यते स्वल्पमप्यस्य धर्मस्य त्रायते महतो भयात्। Now there is not iha in this yoga abhikrama in endeavoring, nashaha loss, asti there is, pratyavayaha diminution, na never, vidyate there is, swalpam a little, api although, asya of this, dharmasya occupation, Trayate, releases, Mahataha, from very great, Bhayat, danger. Translation: in this endeavor there is no loss or diminution, and a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. Can everybody repeat, please? In this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution, and a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. Purport by His Divine Grace. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Activity in Krishna consciousness or acting for the benefit of Krishna without expectation of sense gratification is the highest transcendental quality of work. Even a small beginning of such activity finds no impediment, nor can that small beginning be lost at any stage. Any work begun on the material plane has to be completed. Otherwise, the whole attempt becomes a failure. But any work begun in Krishna consciousness has a permanent effect. Even though not finished, the performer of such work is therefore not at a loss even if his work in Krishna consciousness is incomplete. 1% done in Krishna consciousness bears permanent results, so that the next beginning is from the point of 2%, whereas in the material activity without 100% success, there is no profit. Ajamila performed his duty in some percentage of Krishna consciousness, but the result he enjoyed at the end was 100% by the grace of the Lord. There is a nice verse in this connection in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.5.17. Tyaktva swadharmam charanambhujam harer bhajanna pakvata patet tato yadi yatrakva va bhadrama buddhamishya kim varthapto bhajatam swadharmatah. If someone gives up his occupational duties and works in Krishna consciousness and then falls down on account of not completing his work, what loss is there on his part? And what can one gain if one performs his material activities perfectly? Or as the Christians say, what profiteth a man if he gain the whole world yet suffers the loss of his eternal soul? Material activities and their results end with the body. But work in Krishna consciousness carries a person again to Krishna consciousness even after the loss of the body. At least one is sure to have a chance in the next life of being born again as a human being, either in the family of a great cultured Brahmana or in a rich aristocratic family that will give one a further chance for elevation. That is the unique quality of work done in Krishna consciousness. Om Tats. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanasalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanasalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupakada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tamsa Jivan Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Saitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitamscha. हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीन बंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवत्सदि गौरभक्तवृंद. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. So, first of all, what does Bhagavad Gita means? Song of God. Okay. Who sang this song? To whom did he sing to? Arjuna. Why not to Duryodhana? Why did he specifically choose Arjuna? He was a devotee. Not envious. And one more reason? Friend, yeah. Krishna says in 4th chapter, 3rd verse, Sayevayam mayate dyaha yoga proktaha puratanaha bhaktosi me sakha cheti rahasyam hetaduttamam. Krishna says that very ancient science of the relationship with the Supreme is today told by me to you because you are my friend and my devotee, and therefore can understand the transcendental mystery of this science. Bhagavad Gita is a mystery. It will not be revealed to anyone and everyone. So Arjuna was his friend and a devotee, and another quality like Prabhu just now mentioned, Arjuna was never envious of Krishna. That is very important to understand Bhagavad Gita. If we are envious of Krishna, how will he reveal knowledge to us? So Krishna says in 9th chapter, very first verse, Sri Bhagavan uvacha idam tu te guhyatamam pravaksham yanasuyave jnanam vijnana sahitam yajnatva mokshase shubhat. I shall declare unto you this most confidential knowledge because you are never envious of me. I shall impart to you this most confidential knowledge. Knowing this knowledge, you know everything. The most confidential knowledge Krishna is saying because Arjuna is never envious. So Bhagavad Gita was spoken to Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And then as we know, Bhagavad Gita has 3 sections. What are the 3 sections? There are 18 chapters. They are divided equally in 3 parts. First section is first 6 chapters talking about what? Karma Yoga. The middle 6 chapters? Bhakti Yoga. The last 6 chapters? Jnana Yoga. So the most important out of all is 9th chapter, the most confidential knowledge. And in that the last 8 verses are the essence of bhakti. And the last verse of the Gita, who knows which is the last verse of 9th chapter? That is the 18th chapter last verse. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru Mame Vaishyasi Yuktvaivam Atmanam Matparayanaha. This verse is so important. Krishna has repeated twice. The 18th chapter also. The last 2 lines are little different. So Krishna, what is Krishna telling there? Engage your mind always in thinking of me. Mana Bhava Madbhakto. Engage your mind always in thinking of me. What is the number 2? Become my devotee. 3. Offer your obeisances unto me and worship me. What is the first one? Engage your mind always thinking of me. Number 2. Become my devotee. 3. Offer your obeisances unto me and then worship me. By doing these 4 things, completely absorbed in me, surely will come to me, Krishna is telling. Surely. Krishna is telling. What is the doubt? He is telling, surely will come to me. All that we have to do is engage your mind in thinking of Krishna, become his devotee, offer obeisances and worship him. Being completely absorbed in him, surely will come to me. Krishna also says that those who engage in my devotional service, constantly engaged in worshipping me undeviatedly without any deviation, constantly engaged, for such people I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. Those who worship me, for them I will quickly remove you from the cycle of birth and death. That is what we want, right? We don't want to rot in the material world again, samsara chakra, janma mrityu jara vyadi. So Krishna is telling us how we can get out of. And also in the 10th chapter, Krishna says that Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam enamam upayanti te. Those who are engaged constantly in worshipping me with great devotion, for them I give them dadami buddhi yogam. I give them intelligence how they can come back to me. When we worship Krishna, Krishna sharpens our intelligence and instructs us how we can go back to him. Not remain in the material world. We shouldn't make a permanent residence here in the material world. We have been transmigrating in so many lifetimes. The soul has transmigrated in so many life forms. Finally, it gets human form, which is very, very rare. Durlabham manusham janma tadapya dhruvam. Prahlad Maharaj says, Kaumara acharet pragno dharman bhagavataniha durlabham manusham janma tadapya dhruvam artadam. This human form, very special. Where only the same lecture if I go and give in the zoo, will the animals be able to understand? Definitely not. So human form, higher intelligence. What should we use that higher intelligence for? To get out of this material world and go to spiritual and serve Krishna there. That is the purpose. Anyway, coming back to the second chapter. So what happened in the first chapter? Dhritarashtra asked Sanjaya, after my sons and sons of Pandu assembled in the place of pilgrimage desiring to fight, what did they do? So then Sanjaya, being the secretary of Dhritarashtra, he was blessed by Vyasadev, so he could relate, sitting in the lounge room of Dhritarashtra, he could envision everything that's happening on the battlefield of Kurukshetra because of the mercy of Vyasadev. He had given that vision so that he could see wherever he's sitting what's happening on the battlefield. So he was relating everything, and then Duryodhana was comparing the strength between the Pandavas and Kauravas, who are all on this side, who are all on that side, and he was comparing between Bhishma and Bhima. He was belittling Bhima and Bhishma like a grad. In front of him is like a small fig like that. So this all envy, Duryodhana knows very well if at all he has to die, it will be in the hand of Bhima. Very envious. So he's trying to belittle him. And at some stage then there was blowing of conch shell. First Bhishma Dev blew his conch shell. Not so much of shattering of hearts, but when Krishna blew, Panchajanyam Rishikesho Devadattam Dhananjayaha Paundram Dadmo Mahashankam Bhima Karma Vrukodaraha Ananta Vijayam Raja Kunti Putro Yudhishthiraha Nakula Sahadevascha Sugosho Mani Pushpakau. Then Krishna and Krishna blew. What is the Krishna's conch shell name? Panchajanya. Arjuna's Devadatta. Bhima's Paundra. Yudhishthir Maharaj Ananta Vijaya. Nakula Sahadev Sughosha and Manipushpaka. So like this everybody blew there. When Krishna blew his conch shell, the transcendental sound vibrated, was shattered the hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra. Then there no hope for victory like that. Anyhow, after the blowing of conch shells, then Krishna of course acted as like a Bhaktavatsala. Then Arjuna requested Krishna, can you please draw the chariot so that I want to see with whom I am going to fight. Till then Arjuna was very enthusiastic. He came on the battlefield, it was like all arrangement, he saw who is on which side, everything. And at some stage he requested Krishna. Krishna became Partha Sarathi, his chariot driver. In the material world, everybody want to be master only, nobody want to be servant. But Krishna, he is accepting to become his servant of his own devotee. He is taking the orders and demands of his devotees. So Arjuna told, can you please draw the chariot between the two armies so that I can see with whom I am going to fight here. Then Krishna, Senayor Bhayor Madhye Ratham Stapaya Mechata Yavadetan Niriksheham Yodhu Kamanavastitan Kairmaya Saha Yodhavyam Asmin Rana Samudhyame. So Krishna drew the chariot in between the two armies, knowing Krishna is Paramatma in the heart of Arjuna, knowing what's going to happen in the heart of Arjuna. On purpose he stationed the chariot in such a way that first Arjuna will see who are all present, like Bhishma, Drona, Kripacharya, all these great souls. When he saw them, oh my God, all these are my teachers, great-grandfathers, maternal uncles. I'm going to fight with them and kill them? Definitely no, Krishna, I'm not going to fight. Please leave me alone. They're worthy of worship. I cannot even verbally argue with them, let alone killing them. They're worthy, they're Pujarha Varisudana, they're worthy of worship. Krishna, I cannot do this. Will you kill your teacher? Will you kill your grandfather? That was the argument Arjuna put to Krishna. Then Arjuna declared all the signs of compassion. His hair started to stand on end. His Gandiva bow was slipping. All this like a very depression, all these symptoms of compassion. his hair started to end, Gandiva started to fall, and tears were, and he was telling he was very much, definitely didn't want to fight. In that mood, he gave 5 reasons why he doesn't want to fight. Does anyone know what those 5 reasons are? The very first reason he gave was compassion. He saw all the people on the battlefield as they are their bodies. Why am I going to kill them? Oh my God, no, definite, no. The first reason he gave was compassion. Second reason, enjoyment. The people with whom, if I win the battle, if I gain the kingdom, with the people with whom I'm going to enjoy, if they are all killed on the battlefield, whatever I enjoy will be tainted with blood only. So, second reason he gave was enjoyment. So, third reason he gave was fearful of sinful reactions. Oh, if I kill all these people, I have to go to hell and suffer for millions of lives. Oh, Krishna, I don't want to do the sinful activity. Please leave me. Then fourth reason he gave was destruction of dynasty. If all these great people who are going to set example to the younger generation, if they are all killed, the women, they are unprotected, then all the Varnasankara, the unwanted, the unscrupulous men, they mix, and then the children that are born will cause a great Varnasankara. All the community projects, the timely offering of food and water to the forefathers, the Shraddha ceremony, all these things will stop, and the great people, because the young generation are not performing the Shraddha ceremony, the great people, they don't even get the gross material body and they become the ghosts. So, and all the community projects, welfare activities, everything will be devastated. Varna Sankara, everything, the women will become unprotected, and all these things, everything will cause so much not good. I don't want to be the cause of all that. Destruction of dynasty, all the great people who are going to set example for the younger generation, if they are all killed, it's not good at all. So I don't want to be the cause of all these things. Then the fifth reason he gave was, it was not quite a reason, but it was like an indecision. He doesn't know now what to do. He spoke logic reasons, moral reasons, ethical reasons, everything, and finally was all confused. That's what Prabhupada says, all the material things, everything is full of confusion only. That is why at that stage, what does Arjuna do? What does Arjuna do at that stage? He gave these 5 reasons, and indecision, he doesn't know what to do, nor do we know which is better, conquering them or being conquered by them. If we kill the sons of Dhritarashtra, we should not care to live, yet they are now standing before me on the battlefield. So what does, now Arjuna gave these 5 reasons, desiring not to fight. Then what does Arjuna do? He surrenders to Krishna. He surrenders. Karpanya doshopahata svabhavaha pritchami tvam dharma sammudha chetah yakshreyasyā nishchitam bruhi tanme shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam. What does Arjuna say? Now I am confused about my duty and have lost all composure due to miserly weakness. In this condition, I am asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. Who asked who? Arjuna asked Krishna. What did Arjuna say? Now I am confused after telling this compassion, enjoyment, fear of sinful indecision, all these big things he spoke, and now completely, that's what Prabhupada says in the purport of Karpanya Dosha, all the material things are complete perplexities of life. It behooves one to approach a bona fide spiritual master. We think that my husband will protect me when I am in danger, my wife will protect me, my children will protect me. Who will? This is all like a skin disease, getting attached to my child, my wife, my kith and kin. It's like a skin disease only, because we are born with the skin. So Prabhupada says nobody can protect. So Arjuna is at this stage, when he is completely confused, he surrenders to Krishna. So similarly in our lives also, the life is complete perplexities only. So we also, when we are confused, we don't know what to do, at that time what do we have to do? We have to surrender to a bona fide spiritual master and ask from him. That's what Arjuna did. He said, now I am confused about my duty and have lost all composure due to miserly weakness. In this condition, I am asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Shreyas, what is best for me? Now I am your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. Arjuna fell at the feet of Krishna. Then Krishna first, what? So far you spoke all these things, now you are surrendering to me? Krishna started to smile. Tamuvacha Rishikesha prahasanniva bharata senayor bhayor madhye vishidantam midam vachaha. Krishna started to smile. Oh, you spoke big things, now you are surrendering to me? That same smiling face became very serious. Spiritual master means heavy, not light. So Krishna became his spiritual master. So far they were like this. So till he surrendered, they both were Sakhya Rasa, equal. When Arjuna surrendered, it became, who is this?
Krishna.
Who is this? Arjuna. The level changed. So there was Sakhya Rasa, friendship was going on. Suddenly this is called Rasa Sandhi, change in relationship. What it changed it to? Vatsalya Rasa, Madhurya Rasa, Shanta Rasa, what Rasa? No. 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 Vatsalya Rasa. Guru and disciple relationship is like father and son. Vatsalya. So there is a Rasa Sandhi. So far there was Sakhya Rasa and the Rasa Sandhi, the change in relationship. So Krishna became his guru and he started to chastise. When we go to school, what do we learn first? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? So Krishna began Bhagavad Gita, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Ashocyan, A. Ashocyananvashocastvam prajnavadamsha bhashase gatasunna gatasamscha nanushocanti pandita. Krishna began to chastise and while speaking learned words, like a pandit. Like a pandit, you spoke big things, Arjuna. Compassion, enjoyment, and sinful reactions. But guess what? You don't know the fundamental knowledge. Krishna is telling in the 11th verse of this chapter, while speaking learned words, you are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. What is that is not worthy of grief? The material body. It is not worthy of grief. Those who are wise lament neither for the living nor for the dead. What is Krishna telling in the 11th verse of this chapter? If you have Bhagavad Gita, you can open. 11th chapter, Krishna is telling the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, while speaking learned words, you are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. Those who are wise lament neither for the living nor for the dead. Why is body not worthy of grief? Because it's a dead matter. We are not this material body. So Krishna is now countering Arjuna's argument. What was Arjuna's argument? The first argument? Compassion. He thought everybody on the battlefield to be their material bodies. That is why that was obstructing him from doing his prescribed duty of fighting. So Krishna want to enlighten him, telling that, Arey Baba, you are not your body, nor all these people assembled here are their bodies. They are eternal spirit souls. So Krishna is giving very important knowledge in the 2nd chapter, verses 11 to 30. What is the main, that important knowledge Krishna is giving? Jnana. What jnana is Krishna giving to Arjuna? The soul can never be killed. The body can never be saved. The soul can never be killed. The body can never be saved. And soul is like najayate mriyate va kadachinnayam bhutva bhavitava nabhuyaha ajo nityah shashvato yam purano nahanyate hanyamane sharire. For the soul there is neither birth nor death at any time. He has not come into being, will not come into being. He is unborn, eternal, ever-existing and primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain. The soul can nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavakaha, na chainam kledayantyapo, na shoshayati marutaha. The soul can never be cut to pieces by any weapon, burned by fire, moistened by water, or withered by the wind. So soul can never be destroyed. So what you are going to kill is only bodies, Arjuna, not the soul. So you are actually not going to kill them. So Arjuna is telling, how can I kill all these people? So actually Krishna is telling, you have to actually rejoice for the, if you killed Bhishma and Drona, you should actually rejoice. Why is Krishna telling that?
That's his duty.
Because their bodies have become old now, Jara. They both are old now. So after death, you will get a new material body. Then you get a new body, young body. So that means you should actually rejoice. It's not a thing to lament. They are anyway old. Do you think that if you don't kill, they won't die? They'll anyway, the body will die means the body will anyway finish. You are telling you don't want to fight, you don't want to finish their bodies. Then do you think that their bodies will not finish? It will anyway going to finish. But you are not going to kill them because they are the soul. Soul can never be killed. So what is your problem? So Krishna is countering the argument, the first argument of compassion and all that. Then Krishna is saying that he is giving another example. Vasam shijirnani yatha vihaya navani granati naroparani tatha sharirani vihaya jirnani anyani samyati navani dehi. As a person puts on new garments, giving up the old ones. Like for example, this sari becomes old. I throw this sari and wear a new sari. Do I have to cry for that? I should be happy because I am getting rid of my old sari and getting a new sari, right? So this body is like a dress only. Actually, the person is the soul. This body is a dress, like how the sari is a dress for this body. Similarly, this body is a dress for the soul. The body is anyway going to, like Krishna says, Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara tatha dehantara praptir dhiras tatra namuhyati. As the embodied soul continually passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change. The body is changing, the person is same. The body, like, about, what is that, like, about 50 years ago, I had 10-year-old body. After about 30 years, I had 40-year-old body. The person is same, the body is changing. The soul changes, at the end of our life, it goes into another body. The body is changing, so the body will never remain same. It is like body undergoes 6 types of changes. What are the 6 types of changes the body undergoes? It takes birth from the womb of the mother. Then it grows. Then it stays for some time. Then it reproduces. Then it dwindles. Then it vanishes. These 6 types of changes constantly going on. Everything, Krishna says also in 27th verse of the 2nd chapter, Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityur dhruvam janma mritasya cha tasmada pariharyethe natvam shochitam arhasi. Because Arjuna is lamenting, I don't want to kill all these people. Krishna is telling, one who has taken his birth is sure to die. One who has taken his birth is sure to die. After death, one is sure to take birth again. Therefore, in the unavoidable discharge of your duty, why are you lamenting? Not only human form, animals, birds, insects, anything, any living entity taken birth, sure to die. But only the lifespan differs. For the insects, maybe few minutes is the lifespan. For the birds and animals, maybe like 10 years or 5 years, like that. Humans are not even 100 years now. Maybe some. Prahlad says 100, but we don't even live. But for Brahma, 4 yugas like that going. One is 1 day, and like that 1 kalpa, and like 100. The cycles of 4 yugas is 1 day of Brahma. Like that he lives 311 trillion some years like that. So that is eternity for us. And for Krishna, it's like a flash of time. So like that, only the duration of life differs, but even Brahma has to die. Brahma bhuvanaloka punaravartinorjuna mamupetyat kaunteya punarjanma navidyate. From the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are places of misery wherein repeated birth and death takes place. But one who attains to my abode, O son of Kunti, never takes birth again. Krishna guarantees that. So this is the material world. So Krishna is very, very important knowledge Krishna is giving to Arjuna in the very beginning pages of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna could have spoken in 8th chapter or 4th chapter or 12th chapter, but beginning only is giving this knowledge. Unless we understand what is our true identity, we are not these material bodies, we are eternal spirit souls. Till we understand that, we cannot understand what is spiritual life. Spiritual life begins from knowing what is our true identity. We are not the matter, we are the spirit soul. Spiritual life starts with when we understand we are spirit, not matter. Because we are Krishna's amshas. Mamaivamsho jivaloke jiva bhutah sanatana manashashtani indriyani prakritisthani karshati. We are his amshas, part and parcel. With the being his amshas, our duty is to serve him. Jivera swarupahoye krishnera nityadas. We have to serve Krishna. Only then we can be very, very happy. In the material world, we are like fish out of water. When you take a fish out of water, if you give 24 hours Wi-Fi, internet, air condition, everything, will the fish be very happy? How can you make fish happy? Putting back into the water. Similar situation is ours now. We were in the spiritual world, we are put like fish out of water here. This is not our place. We are trying to make permanent residence here. In Australia, people come and they apply for permanent residence in the material world. What is permanent residence here? We have to make permanent residence of the Golok, not here. So that is the real human purpose of human form of life. So anyway, coming back to this, so Krishna spoke this very important knowledge. You are not the body, you are the spirit soul. Then after that next section, Krishna is talking about, he is telling Arjuna, in the third section, Krishna is next explains working more like a material consciousness, like karma kanda consciousness. Krishna is telling Arjuna to fight. What is Krishna telling to Arjuna? If you fight, what are the gains? If you die, you will get heaven. And if you win the battle, you will become a king and you will enjoy the kingdom. So there is no loss. If you win, you will get the kingdom. If you die, you will go to heaven and enjoy. But if you don't fight, and Arjuna is telling, I don't want to fight, he is refraining from fighting. If he fights, what are the losses? Infamy and sin. Remember, the third reason Arjuna gave why he doesn't want to fight is sinful reaction. So if he doesn't fight, he will incur sin. Arjuna is telling, if I fight, I will incur sin, so I won't fight. Krishna is telling, if you don't fight, you will incur sin because you are deviating from your Kshatriya duty. Duty of Kshatriya, Krishna says in 18 chapters, Shauryam tejo dhritirdakshyam vidhe chapya palayanam dhanam ishvara bhavascha kshatram karma svabhavajam. For Kshatriyas, what are the duties? Heroism, courage in battle, leadership. These are all the qualities for the Kshatriyas. Heroism, courage in battle, generosity, leadership. These are all qualities. You will get infamy. People won't think, Arjuna is scared. He is very much timid and he is very afraid. That's why he ran away from that. What will people think? They won't think, Arjuna is very compassionate, is very saintly. That is why he ran away. They don't think. They'll think that, Arjuna is afraid, is cowardly. So that is why he is running. Every year get so much infamy. Krishna says that if you don't want to fight, dishonor is worse than death. For a respectable person, dishonor is worse than death. You will get dishonor. You will get infamy. Dishonor is worse than death. Krishna is telling to Arjuna. So third section he told the gains that he gets from fighting. What is that? He'll either get, if he wins, he'll enjoy the kingdom. If he dies, he'll go to heaven. If he doesn't fight, What are the two not good things? Infamy and sin. He'll incur sin by not doing. Arjuna is telling, if I fight, I'll get sin. Krishna is telling, if you don't fight, you'll get sin. Krishna is countering all the reasons that Arjuna gave. So then the fourth section today, which we are concentrating for the fourth section, is Buddhi Yoga. So section 2 is Jnana, section 3 is Karma. Section 4 is 3 plus 2 is equal to 4. What is 3? Karma, Karma Kanda. Krishna is inducing Arjuna to fight on the basis of Karma Kanda, the more like a fruitive mentality like that. If you fight, you will get this. If you lose, it like that. So Krishna is telling, so Karma means activity. We all have to act. In the third chapter, Krishna says the nature of the soul is to be active. He says that nahi kaschit kshanamapi jato tishtatya karma krit karyate havasha karma sarva prakriti jair gunai. What is Krishna telling in 3.5 of Gita Karma Yoga? Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jato tishtatya karma krit karyate havasha karma sarva prakriti jair gunai. Everyone is forced to act helplessly according to the modes he has acquired from 3 modes of material nature. No one can refrain from doing something, not even for a moment. So the nature of the soul is to be active. You have to act. You cannot not act. Even while sleeping, we are dreaming. So the nature of the soul is to be active. You have to act. So every action has a reaction. So Krishna is telling, Arjuna is telling, if I fight, I'll get reaction. I want to go to forest and relax. So that I don't get reaction. Krishna is telling, no. Inactivity is not an option. If you go to forest, do you think you will refrain from getting reaction? Na karmana manarambhan naishkarmyam purushosnute nacha sanyasana deva siddhim samadhigacchati. Not by merely abstaining from work can one achieve freedom from reaction, nor by renunciation alone can one attain perfection. Krishna is telling. Don't think that if you run away to forest, you will not get reaction. Still you are eating, you have to do, because nature of the soul is to be active, you will act. So you will anyway get reaction. So Krishna is telling, inactivity is not an option. So what is he? Krishna is telling in the fourth section, Buddhi Yoga, Nishkama Karma Yoga. What is that? Section 3 is Karma, section 2 is Jnana. Doing Karma in Jnana, doing activity in knowledge will bring detachment. That is Nishkama Karma. Nishkama Karma Yoga means you are not attached to the fruits of your activity. Why you are not attached to the fruit of activity? Because you have Jnana, knowledge. You are acting in knowledge. Karma in knowledge. Doing activity in knowledge. Section 3 Krishna told about Karma Kanda. Section 2 he told about Jnana. Acting in Jnana will bring detachment. So how is the detachment coming? Because of the knowledge. Then Nishkama Karma, the activity will not lead reaction. What was Arjuna's worry? Oh Krishna, if I fight, I'll get reaction. So many people, if I kill, I have to go to hell and suffer. Even Yudhishthir Maharaj, so much lamenting. In the first canto Bhagavatam, Yudhishthir, nobody could convince Yudhishthir. He was so much feeling bad. Oh, this is so not good. Krishna tried to pacify him, Bhishma. Everybody, Krishna tried and everybody tried, but it didn't work. Krishna, actually he could have. What is it that impossible to Krishna? But Krishna wants to give name and fame to others sometimes. So they all went to meet Bhishma Dev on the deathbed, like, the arrows of bed. That time, when Bhishma Dev told, only Bhishma Dev could convince Yudhishthir. So much feeling, lamenting, the Yudhishthir Maharaj. So like that, Krishna is telling, Arjuna told, oh, if I kill all these people. Krishna is telling, no. So Krishna is telling so Krishna very nicely tells in the second chapter, 50th verse, Buddhi yukto jahati haube sukrita dushkrute tasmad yogaya yujjasva yoga karma sukaushalam. A man engaged in devotional service rids himself of both good and bad reactions. When somebody engages in devotional service, he rids himself of good and bad reactions. That is the art of doing work. What is the art of doing work? Like I told you, the nature of the soul is to be active. We have to act. We cannot not act. Then what is the art of doing work that will not entangle us in reaction? That is devotional service. When we do devotional service to Krishna, that will free us from reaction. Not like Arjuna is telling, I will renounce the work. No, Krishna is telling that is not an option. Do you think that if you renounce work, you will not get reaction? You will definitely, because nature of the soul is to be active, you have to act. You cannot not act. So any activity that you do, that will relieve reaction. Rather than that, engage in devotion. Neha vikramanashosti pratyavayo na vidyate swalpam apyasya swalpam. Even little bit. If you do bhakti, it will protect you from the most dangerous type of fear. What is that most dangerous type of fear? Becoming an animal. How not good is that? Again you have to transmigre, like go into evolutionary cycle and go all the way up to come to human form. Don't know how long it will take. No. So Krishna is telling, even little bit of devotion that will protect you, even it may be incomplete, incorrect, still, that will protect you from the most dangerous type of fear. Arjuna asks in the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, what is Arjuna asking? Let us little bit discuss what Arjuna asked in the 6th chapter. So the very same topic in that is, what is Arjuna asking in the 6th chapter? Ayati shraddha yopeto yoga chalita manasaha aprapya yoga samsiddhim kamgatim Krishna gacchati. Arjuna is asking, he has got one doubt. What is the destination of the unsuccessful transcendence? See, somebody, they have taken to bhakti path, okay? Bhakti or jnana, karma, whatever. They have taken to some path. And they have given up the material thing and they have taken to this process very seriously. And in the process of doing it, they happen to meet some not good association, they deviated. In the beginning, they took to the process with faith. They have faith. Shraddha is very important. Without Shraddha, we cannot do anything. So with Shraddha, somebody has taken that path and somebody told, Arey, why you are doing this? Krishna comes, they'll tell, no drink, no tea, no coffee, no film, no this, no onion, no garlic. Why you are doing? Arey, come on, life is meant to enjoy. Why you are doing all this? You do this when you are old, not now. Somebody deviate. This person deviate now. First he took with faith, somebody changed worldly mindedness, he changed. So what will happen to such a person who has taken to the process in the beginning with great faith, later deceased due to worldly mindedness, thus does not attain perfection? What will happen to such a person? Then Arjuna is telling, O mighty armed Krishna, does not such a man who is bewildered from the path of transcendence fall away from both spiritual and material success? He left material and he took to spiritual, he left spiritual also. He left material, he left spiritual, both. So what will, he's like a riven cloud with no position in his in the cloud, in the sky, what do we see? There's a clouds. Suddenly a strong wind will come, it will blow the clouds here and there. It is neither here nor there. So what is this destination? In the beginning he took to the process, he did not, then somebody changed his mind, then he left this material and he left the spiritual also. He is neither here nor there. He is like a riven cloud with no position in his sphere. What will happen to such a person? This is my doubt. Etam me samshayam Krishna chetam arhasya sheshatata tadanya samshayasya chetana hipapadyati. This is my doubt, O Krishna, and I ask you to dispel it completely. But for you, no one is to be found who can destroy this doubt. What is Krishna telling? Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. Very interesting. We have to read this Bhagavad Gita. Very, very nice. Krishna is telling. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Parthanaiveha namutra vinashastasya vidyate nahi kalyana krit kaschit durgatim tata gacchati. What is Krishna answering to this question of Arjuna? The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O son of Pritha, a transcendentalist engaged in auspicious activities does not meet with destruction either in this world or in the spiritual world. One who does good, my friend, is never overcome by evil. जो भी लोग कल्याण काम करते हैं उनको दुर्गति मिल ही नहीं सकता. भगवान बता रहे जो भी कल्याण काम करते हैं ना उनको बुरा हो ही नहीं सकता, भगवान वही बता रहे. सुप्रीम पर्सनैलिटी ऑफ गॉड इट सेड, अ ट्रांसेंडेंटल एंगेज इन ऑस्पिशियस एक्टिविटीज डज नॉट मीट विद डिस्ट्रक्शन ईदर इन दिस वर्ल्ड और इन द स्पिरिचुअल वर्ल्ड. माय फ्रेंड, then he is saying that in this world, in the one who does good, my friend, is never overcome by evil. What is Krishna telling next? Prapya punyakritam lokanushitva shashvati samaha shuchinam srimatam gehe yoga brashto vijayate. To such people, what does Krishna do? Those who are done for a short time and then they deviated, for such people, what does Krishna do? He gives an opportunity to be born in a shuchinam, means Brahmana family, और श्रीमताम वैश्य फैमिलीज. क्या बोलते हैं, वानिक बोलते हैं ना, वैश्य, हाँ, बिजनेस ट्रेड्समैन. Either I'll give you opportunity to be born in a Brahmana family or in a Vaishya family. What is good about being born in a Brahmana family? From the beginning, in the family, there's good samskaras are instilled in the consciousness. When you are born in a Brahmin family, the parents, they teach all the good samskaras. What to do, what not to do, when to do, how to do. Like in the morning you have to take bath, be clean and worship the Lord. All these good samskaras are instilled. That will become a great impetus to take up Krishna consciousness. In my own life, like I always remember, I was born in a Madhva Brahmin family. So my parents from the beginning, they taught me very good things, what to do, what not to do, what cleanliness, everything. So when I went to Australia, Melbourne, 91 I went to Melbourne, Australia. In January, 14 January 1991, I reached Melbourne, Australia. And the very first month only, I started to go to temple due to some devotee association. They asked me to come to temple. I went to temple and was very happy, and I made pratigna on the very same day. As long as I'm in Australia, I'm going to come to temple. I'm not going anywhere else. Finish. Why? Because that good, already parents have brought that good samskar. I made firm decision. I'm going to come to temple, not go. I'm definitely going to come temple every week. I made that pratigna. So like that impetus was there. So Krishna gives that opportunity. Then Vaishya family, what will happen? Even to earn my bread, my food, I have to work hard, right? The money will not simply come. I have to work hard. Krishna says in the third chapter, Yastvindriyani manasanyam yarabate jana karmendriya karma yogam asak. He says that even one cannot even maintain one's physical body without work. So we have to work. So, but for the Vaishyas, what happens is from the birth, they are very, very rich. They don't have to work hard to earn money. Already they are rich. Because they are rich, whatever that time is there, they can cultivate Krishna consciousness. That time with whatever they have. But here now Vaishyas, they are very unfortunate. They want more and more money. Where is devotion for them? So they are doing like that. Business class, So that opportunity. Then those who are done short time, Brahmana or Vaishya, those who are for long time, they are born in a transcendental family. Prabhupada writes in the purport, me and my Guru Maharaj, we had the opportunity to be born in a transcendental family. From the beginning, we got Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada writes in the 6th chapter purport, you can read that. He says that myself and my Guru Maharaj, we had the opportunity to be born in a transcendental family. We could become good devotees. From the beginning, because already somebody has done 90%, and then they leave their body or something, then the next life very quickly they'll take up, because already so much consciousness. This is what Neha Vikramana Shosti. Whatever we do, that then like this life we have done 90, next life I will begin from 91. In the material world, if I earn 90 crores and put in some bank, next life if I come and ask that bank, I have 90 crores here, are you mad? They'll hit me and send me, throw me out. Right? That is the difference between material and spiritual. Krishna is telling, whatever you tektva swadharmam charanam bhujam hare bhajan apakvota pate tato yadi yatra kvava bhadram abuddham vrikshakim kim varta apto bhajatam swadharmatah. Even if it is immature, whatever little you have done, that will completely be protected. That is the very safety net of Bhakti Yoga. Very, very safe. Whatever you do, that goes with the soul. But people are so brainless and less intelligent, they put all their valuable human form in earning money till the end of their life. So less intelligent, they don't know that they will leave everything and go. That same time if they use for Krishna, Prahalad Maharaj says, only human form affords one a chance to return home back to Godhead. People, they want to earn money more and more and not even little bit Krishna consciousness. Very, very unfortunate. So that is why one thing we need to understand, what is permanent, what is temporary. And an intelligent man will think, oh, I am not going to invest my time, that is temporary. Whatever is, somebody will tell, if you put some money in some insurance bank, they'll tell that in 10 days it will go bankrupt. Will you put money in that? Why? You think, oh, I hard earned money, I put all the money, it's going to bankrupt in 10 days. Oh, I want to put somewhere there is going to be permanent, right? Same story here. 10 days, death comes suddenly. Any minute, anything can happen. And we are putting so much trust in this money. And of course, we need some money to maintain the body and soul together, but not to the extent that we put all our time only for that and suffer the soul. Soul is constantly want that communion with the Lord, because we are part and parcel of Krishna. We want His association. But unfortunately, this covering, external covering is made Maya. Maya means what is not, this material body, whole world. There is no university in the whole world that is teaching the knowledge of the soul, Everywhere, all material, Jada Vidya only. No, nothing, no soul knowledge is there. Thank you all very much for your attention. Hope it made sense what I spoke. So very nice, Krishna giving this very supreme knowledge to Arjuna, not only to Arjuna, to all of us. Through Arjuna is giving us also message. Thank you all very, very much. Please bless me so that I continue to do Shravanam Kirtanam of Krishna. Hare Krishna.